Hello again, welcome to another edition of Weather Weenies. Today we're visiting Saddleback, Maine in the Rangeley Lakes region of Maine, and my assistant here is Conrad Klefos, who's the Director of Marketing here at Saddleback, and we're enjoying the beautiful sunshine, and thank goodness the sun's out because in the last week some cold air has moved into the northeastern part of the country, and that really was beneficial because it allowed the resorts that got hammered a week ago, about 9 days ago with rain, to bounce back from that thaw with no difficulty. Here at Saddleback, they even got some natural snow, about 8 inches, right around the 28th, 29th of January, and they are back to a packed powder surface. And they got 4 new piston bullies here this year, so they did a very nice job of grooming in the wake of the rain, and then the natural snow came along, they made some snow, and the skiing here and the riding is exceptional. Now, I'm going to take a twist on an old theme. Saddleback is in the Rangeley Lakes region, and it's in north central Maine. Beautiful, beautiful territory, some of the most gorgeous scenery you'll find in the eastern United States. And my idea for the slogan here is that you can get here from there. So you should make the effort to do that sometime and come up to Saddleback, Maine. Now let's talk about the weather. Let's start in the west, and over the course of the last 10 days or so, we've had a split flow in the west, and that means the jet stream energy that's been approaching the west coast of the United States basically has had 2 branches. The northern branch has not been especially strong. There's been a big trough sitting off the coast, and it spits out little impulses that come ashore, and they've brought snow to the Cascades and actually all the way into the Rockies and into the Tetons. It hasn't been exceptionally heavy, although Jackson Hole got about a foot on the 31st of January from one of these moist impulses that's moved ashore. But the trough itself can't bodily move ashore because, once again, we've got a big upper level ridge that varies in its intensity, but basically the ridge is holding sway in the west with a trough in the eastern United States. That's been the theme most of this winter, and for the foreseeable future, we're going to continue with that theme. But back here in the west, the northern branch has helped out from roughly Tahoe excuse me, up into British Columbia. Whistler has picked up snow off and on for the past couple of weeks. That's going to help them prep for the Olympics. The lower elevation venues, however, in British Columbia are a little sketchy right now. They could use a change in the pattern, but I don't see one coming. The southern branch of the jet stream has the one that's really had the abundant moisture with it during the course of this winter because of our friend El Nino out in the central Pacific. And the warm waters of the central Pacific, where the El Nino is focused, helps put moisture and energy in the overlying atmosphere, and it's brought some sizable storms into the southern Sierra and into the southern Rockies. A couple of weeks ago, Mammoth got 7 feet, Arizona Snow Bowl got 7 or 8 or 9 feet of snow, and from time to time you will see a stronger impulse come through this branch, and that is of great interest to people in the eastern United States because with this pattern of the trough in the east, we've got plenty of cold air in Canada now. It feeds into the trough, and when you have the jet energy come along in the southern branch, if you have a little shortwave impulse that kind of cycles around this big trough, if it hooks up with a shortwave in the southern branch, we have a phenomenon known as phasing. And when the 2 branches of the jet stream phase somewhere over the mid-south, that's when you get big coastal storms. And if it phases strongly enough, the flow along the coast will become southerly and propel the surface storm right up off of New England, and everybody gets snow from Rangeley, Maine, all the way down to Sugar Mountain and Ski Beach in North Carolina. Last weekend storm, the day of the, the day was the 30th of January. We didn't have the phasing. The southern branch system came along and it just kept going, and the snow really was limited to about Philadelphia southward. The resorts of West Virginia, Virginia, and North Carolina made out great. They got upwards of a foot of snow from that system last weekend because that one could not turn the corner, and that's why the Poconos, the Catskills, and the mountain ranges of New York and New England basically got shut out with that weekend storm. This coming weekend, we've got another chance because we'll have some southern jet energy moving across early this week. It's brought some light to moderate snow to the mountains of the southern Sierra, southern Rockies. Right now, it looks as though there's a better chance of phasing between the northern and the southern branches of the jet. And over the course of the upcoming weekend, I'm looking for low pressure again, as I have several times this year, to form somewhere in the southeast, move to the Carolina coast, and this time I think it'll turn the corner sharply enough to bring snow northward to New England. For sure, right now, it looks like another bonanza weekend in the mid-Atlantic and the southeast. They have enjoyed phenomenal snow much of this winter. They did have the thaw that the rest of the east had a couple of weeks ago, but the natural snow last weekend really helped them bounce back. But if you're looking for the one part of the country that's enjoyed snowfall, the likes of which they haven't seen in years, it's from Snowshoe, Timberline, and Canaan Valley down to Sugar, Cataloochee, Beach. All the North Carolina resorts are enjoying a bonanza, and they're going to get snow this weekend. That I'm certain of. I'm a little less certain of the snow falling further north, but I do think there'll be enough phasing between the two branches to bring that storm up the coast and bring snow to the northeast during the upcoming weekend. So we have occasional intrusions of jet energy for snow in the northern Rockies and in the Pacific Northwest. The southern branch remains active. The upper Midwest, let's not forget them. With this predominantly northwest flow, we still have lake effect going off in portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the upper peninsula of Michigan, and a little bit of the northern portion of the lower peninsula of Michigan. They are enjoying a nice year as well, and they're certainly getting the temperatures to continue to make snow as we move into February, as this cold air drills into the trough across the Great Lakes. So this region's in pretty good shape. The Northwest is in pretty good shape. The Southwest is in great shape. The Southeast is in great shape. The Northeast has bounced back nicely from the thaw. The only guys that are really kind of frustrated by this pattern are right here in the Central Rockies along the Interstate 70 corridor. That's not to say the skiing and riding is bad. It's not, because they've had a fair amount of snow, but they are below average for the year, and there's a lot of hard pack there as opposed to the powder and pack powder that they like to think they have every day of the week. That's not reality, but the conditions are a little firm in the Central Rockies because they've been between the southern branch and what's been going on in the northern branch. But the rest of the country and adjacent Canada right now are enjoying pretty nice skiing and riding, so you should enjoy it too. You can check out the report that we taped, at the Saddleback this week, later in the week, from Thursday onward. If you go to snowcountry.com and click on the Skiing Weatherman, you can see the report that we just laid down here at beautiful Saddleback, Maine. In the meantime, get out and enjoy that snow. We're right in the heart of the season. The weather's cooperative. This pattern looks like it's going to hold for a couple of weeks anyway, so the threat of storminess will be there in the east, and there'll be occasional bouts of snow in the west as well. For the last time, I'll tell you to get out and enjoy it. And next week, we'll have the Skiing Weatherman's Weather Weenies for you from Stowe, Vermont. For now, it's goodbye from Saddleback, Maine.